Everybody, welcome to video 3 of the Goaltenders Hip Mobility video series. In video 1 and 2, we went over isolating the hip joints to help better move them and control them in the sockets. We worked on reciprocal and contralateral hip rotation, working on some of those transitions in the seated to kneeling and also laying down. Today, we're going to work in the standing position on controlling a lot of that loaded rotation as we drop the knees in and out of that butterfly position. All right, so now that we've attained some good control of the hip joints in the sockets, and we know how to transition, we're going to start loading up into it in that standing position and work on that rotation or that knee drop control so that when you do drop into those extreme ranges of rotation, that torque isn't ending up into your knee or into places we don't want it to. So we're going to start with kind of a sumo stance position. So your feet are pretty far outside of your shoulders, maybe just a little bit outside. And we're going to drop. And this all depends on your groin flexibility on how wide you can go. So we're going to drop to about 90 degrees. Here we're going to draw on the belly button, make sure those glutes are locked in, maintain a tall, strong position, and we're just going to simply roll that knee in, okay, into a squat. So I'm going to let that leg drop in. I'm shifting my weight over to this leg, so I'm not really loaded up into this. It's just kind of falling in, but I'm making sure my foot is really active here. So I'm really pressing the ankle to initiate some of that transitioning. So I'm pressing that ankle into the ground to make sure my groin is supporting the hip. And then as I come out, I'm pushing with this one and I'm lifting with this one. So as you get a little bit stronger, you can drop a little bit more into that hip. So now I'm getting into a deep squat on that support leg as I come down, and I'm not going into any pain. I'm moving into where I can own and I can control. You can work your breathing into it as you exhale. Drop down. Inhale, stand up. And if you need to give the hips a break, stand up, shake it out. Okay, so we are getting a little bit more specific into these deeper positions. If you want to go a little bit wider, feel free to do so. Okay, the hips do end up into these extreme ranges at times, but the principle is the same. You're going to shift weight to that side leg to allow this one to drop in, and we don't want to rotate through that knee. So if you're going this low, point those toes a bit. Shift, slide, drop, point. Okay. This is a very tough exercise, so I recommend spending a lot more time on video 1 and video 2 to make sure you have control of those hips in the deeper ranges so that when we get into these very loaded body weight exercises and going to these extreme ranges, there's less potential to cause harm. Listen to your body. If something is uncomfortable, it's not letting you move into a range or is causing pain, you don't own it, so don't move into it. Go back, work on those progressions. It might take some time to get those hips prepared, those joints, those ligaments, those muscles, in order for those more advanced mobility exercises. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, Tom Swales. Head over to my Instagram at swales.tom for more insights on how to prevent injuries and increase your performance.